I'm on my way, my way. Got money in the bank, I get so paid, so paid. Roll up in the whip, you looking my way, my way. Sitting on top and I'm here to stay, to stay. Cause I'm on my way, I'm on my way, way.
Thanks for joining us here on the Real Estate Roundtable. I'm Bobby Jones.
And I'm Thomas Phillips, and I'm super excited today. We have an awesome show. We have a super special guest that we have today that's going to bring some great content. But before we get to that, if you could do us a huge favor in the spirit of our guest, go down in the description and smash that like button.
I'm so excited to have our guest on today, a very special guest, a friend, Emily Crooke, joining us today here on the Real Estate Roundtable, one of the first, if not the first, to post live videos to LinkedIn. The OG of LinkedIn, dubbed by many as the LinkedIn Queen, 47,000 LinkedIn followers. Talk about that, Emily. Talk about how you've been able to become so successful, some of the mindset and strategy.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you both for having me. I am so blessed to be on here.
Absolutely.
And yeah, my journey on LinkedIn started 2 years ago. I was 22 years old, and my strategy was simple. LinkedIn was a blue ocean for me. So I knew what people my age were doing on Instagram and Facebook, and they were killing it in order to get likes and follows. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and sell my intellect on a platform that the majority of people around 50 to 60 years old in the workforce, as an entrepreneur, that's my space. I'm going to disrupt it. Because I'm all about being a disruptor in industries, and I'm going to start posting content and see what happens. Did I think it was going to get this crazy, like, blow up? No, absolutely not. And I think that's why it did, is because I had no expectations on creating a certain following. It was simply having a heart to give and to make a difference in someone's life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was actually, I saw your videos for the first time, and I told Bobby about it because I was like, man, this girl, she is killing it on LinkedIn, and she's doing something nobody else is doing. And then I actually started reading some things about how the algorithms were starting to change on the different platforms, and some were geared towards growth and some were slowing down. And then it was kind of like the perfect mix when you hit that. Was that something that you knew, or was it something that you just was like, hey, look, I'm throwing it out there, and then boom, it hit, and you're like, whoa, wow, look at this. It's crazy? Or what was that like?
Yeah, so I didn't know that the algorithm was going to prefer videos at the time, but what I did know was videos were getting a lot more popular on Facebook. Right. And ever since I was little, I really wanted to be an actress, but I live in Florida. It's very far away from Hollywood, California. So I practiced filming myself and just practicing in front of the mirror. And so I was like, you know what? My dad says I have a skill set to talk to people in front of the camera. So I'm going to take that skill set on LinkedIn and show individuals what I know. I call myself the blonde version of Tony Robbins in hopes of one day he's going to like laugh about that and be like, oh, hey, I want to meet you. So my goal was like, you know what? I want to be popping up on people's LinkedIn nudes feeds, being like 30 to 60-second videos, and with the hopes of just having them smile and life's hard. We go through obstacles, and I open up about my journey because I think one thing that's missing with social media is we see everyone's highlights. So I have my friend that's going to Paris, or someone just had a baby, but we don't see the backstage reality of what's really happening. And I know that through my feedback of my followers is they've seen the ups and downs of my journey. When I've lost a job, when I didn't do so well, when I got my master's, when I created my own business, they've seen it all. And they've also seen how I've reacted to the situations. And so I think really being vulnerable, transparent, and being genuine, like if you're not genuine, that shows.
Absolutely. So when you were first doing this, is there some learning curves? Was there some things that you needed to learn with doing live videos that kind of taught you that, hey, I need to be kind of open, kind of, vulnerable maybe, And also talk about, your energy. Is that something that you have to pump up yourself? I mean, you're very energetic, very bubbly. I love it.
Yeah, well, so based off the energy, I was a cheerleader my whole life. So I started like in elementary school doing gymnastics. I loved flipping. And one thing was where we would have to do an extra mile for every second that we weren't smiling during our 2 minutes and 30 seconds on stage. So I think that the repetition of me smiling just kind of like enforced a positive nature about me. And they say that, like, I forgot how many muscles it takes to smile, but it's like a million more muscles to actually frown. Right. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to stick to that. And I'm not sure if I know my LinkedIn following knows this, but I've gone through extremely difficult struggles in my life to the point where I was in the biggest black hole. I didn't want to make it another day. And fighting that over a few years, I was like, once I battled the demon inside my head, if I'm being honest, I realized, you know what, life is so precious, and knowing that other people are probably feeling the way that I did at my lowest is my fuel to be a difference and to try and have them, even if it's a smirk, it's a half smile, something that could be a positive source of energy or lighten their day. That's my why.
Yeah, that is actually, I saw, now that you mentioned that, I did see a video that you did the other day on it, and you touched on it a little bit, and I thought it was amazing that you actually shared that with everybody. And
yeah, I'll touch on it now because I think it's huge. The reason why I reshared that post a few days ago was because a lot of fathers and mothers on LinkedIn were reaching out. I'm open about anxiety. So I can't say I have struggled with anxiety. I still do. It's not like one day it just stops, right? I find different ways to cope with it. So my story started in high school. I was varsity cheerleader at freshman. I'm OCD perfectionist type A. First freshman ever making varsity. I was like, yes, and then I was captain next year. This is great. Straight A's, taking college classes. So on paper, I'm perfect, right? Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, to my parents, you have the best daughter. I wish my kid was more like that. Well, on the inside, I didn't know who I was. I developed a severe eating disorder it was anorexia. I lost probably 30, 40 pounds within 2 months. So, yeah, it was the doctors had looked both my parents and myself in the eye, telling me that I was slowly dying. I had
How low did your weight get?
I went down to 65 pounds at 5'4". At 16 years old, I had several EKGs. I got my blood drawn every single day in the morning at 5 a.m. to make sure my electrolytes were, yeah.
And so that had to be super tough too, because I mean, like you being a cheerleader, like I know my family's in the cheerleading business. My sister, she's at Ace cheerleading, so I know how much energy and time and training all that takes to do all that. Along with that, I mean, what kind of toll did that take on you, not just physically but emotionally during that time, having to juggle all that?
So this is when I realized how powerful my mind was. I was at such a low weight. My bones were so fragile. I was diagnosed with really, really things I would never wish anyone was diagnosed with. But my will to keep to that really unhealthy routine was so strong that I performed well, if I'm being completely honest with you. Off barely any calories, I did it. Oh. And that's when that's when my parents were like, you know what? I was underage of the 18. There's something called the Baker Act rule. Mm-hmm. If your parents drop you off into a facility and you're deemed at harm to yourself, you're required to attend. So that's when I entered my first of 4 treatment centers. Why 4? 4 relapses. And every single treatment center, I was there for 4 months, 24/7, no technology. So what I did to help the time I was on Florida virtual school, because I still had to do school, I read a lot. I started reading about Tony Robbins, Ed Mylett, Grant Cardone, mindset. And I said, oh my God, we have one thing in common. We hyper-focus. We obsess. We overanalyze. I'm just doing it on the wrong freaking thing.
That's it.
And that was like, and it wasn't like an easy light bulb by any means. This was the hardest thing I've ever done in my freaking life. I had my master's degree. I did that in 1 year. They said it would take 2, 3. Like gaining weight in a facility like that was the hardest thing I've ever done. I actually have the chills right now, just kind of like talking about it. And even to this day, I've blacked out a lot of what happened. Would never wish that upon anyone. But I do think that we go through struggles for a reason. Mm-hmm. And I think that with the voice and the platform that I have, I'm extremely passionate about mental health. And I even wrote on there, my dream goal is to create a Christian-based treatment center for for individuals to feel comfortable. And this goes to all aspects of well-being. It's fitness, it's finance, it's mental health, like it's your faith. You got to be well balanced.
That's amazing. It really is.
You said Christian based, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm glad to hear you say that. And you know, you just having that platform. A lot of people think, because I do live videos on Facebook a lot, and anybody that's on a platform, when they're giving value and smiling, people sometimes have the misconception that everything's going perfect in that person's life. But I think you just have that fuel to give value to others. And Emily, you and I spoke about this, and if you're comfortable, would you tell our viewers, why it was important for you to take 8 months off of social media? I know that was something that you got to a certain level, and you made that decision. And if you feel comfortable, would you talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So I was going strong for over a year. My posts on average were getting 1,000 likes, probably 100,000 views. And it started fueling that negative energy, right? I'm number focused. So if the post that I had the following day didn't get as many likes, it's like I punished myself by horrible coping mechanisms, by eating less and exercising more. Right. So over 1 month, I lost 10 pounds. Mm. So I said I had to take a step back and think, okay, first of all, this is not why I'm on social media. I'm not on here to get likes and to get followers. I'm on here to give. And if I'm not able to turn that off, I need to take a step back. And I truly wasn't able to. My weight was going down, and I said, I have to stop. I deleted the app, and I literally had my head down, and I focused on myself. And I didn't even open that app. And until I felt comfortable enough, I'm back at that solid weight, and I felt healthy and back on a mission, then I was like, you know what, I'll start posting. And I gradually started doing it. I didn't go all in like I normally would have done. I did one post, and I think 4 days later, another one. And then it was a week. And now it's more frequent. But I every morning I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, but also on that piece of paper, I say numbers don't matter. Like what does a number even mean? We don't walk around with a number on how many days we have left on this earth. Like only one man knows that.
That's right.
No.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that shows such maturity, especially at your age too. I mean, it's amazing. And I've noticed here lately, I've noticed how much you've been posting, and it's really, you've been exploding a lot again on LinkedIn. What's the future like? What's this new business that you have that you're been posting about online and everything?
Yeah, it's funny. I give teasers and my messages are full, like, just tell us already. So I'm very blessed I've partnered with Ed Mylett. He's an incredible businessman and family guy, fellow believer. And he's stepping back into the finance space. And he has a crazy mission to, serve 20 million families in 10 years.
Wow. What kind of finance is it?
So it's through financial services. One of the goals is we sit down with clients and we map out a financial dream, right? So we'll see what their debt looks like. Do they have emergency funds? We like 3 to 6 months. What does their retirement look like? Do they have life insurance? So we map out what it is, what the reality looks like, and what do they want. Oftentimes it's like light and day. And no one even has a freaking they don't even know what the reality is because they're scared to look at the numbers. So we're like, listen, it's going to be hard, but it's worth it. And now we make the money through selling life insurance policies. The main reason why he's coming back in the business is to educate the mainstream on what a lot of the strategies that people in the Wall Street know. There's a reason why the 1% keep getting wealthier, right?
That's right.
Because they know things that we don't.
That's right.
And so when we first sat down and he's introducing some investment opportunities that I never had heard of, and I would consider myself a relatively smart individual with a master's in business, very well friends with a lot of people in finance and on Wall Street. I'm like, what? What is this? So my passion has always been to help. And so the fact that our passions align, my goal now is building my business. So I've reached out and working to build my team of leaders. I call myself the Wealth Pack.
All right.
So it's kind of like the wolf pack. So we're like fierce. We're like badass or bad A. I don't know what I can say. I'm all in, and I honestly it has been the best few months of my life.
That's amazing.
So Ed Mylett was kind of somebody you looked up to. How do you feel being able to work with Ed Mylett on jointhewealthpack.com?
Do I only have one word to answer that? I don't know. I'm blessed, really, and I think it was a godsend, really. And the fact that every single day I'm able to impact people's lives in a more impactful way than a smile, but I could sit down with them and show them things that Ed Mylett knows and all of his friends in the RT syndicate know that we don't. It's hard to describe, really.
He's an incredible guy. I watched kind of an interview with him, and I don't know if you've seen it with Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone was kind of Confessions of an Entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And you were invited to the Grant Cardone conference not too long ago.
I was.
How was that?
Well, this past year it was in Las Vegas. I didn't go there. I went to the one in Miami the year before. It was a really cool experience. I've never gone to any business conference like that. I took my dad, who's like my inspiration, so we had a blast together. They hooked us up at one of those crazy suites. Met Damon John, who's such a cool guy. But his security, he has this one security guy that takes him everywhere. Oh, we hit it off. I was like, this is gonna be so much fun. But wow, it was incredible to see all these like-minded individuals come together, because like you said, I'm 24 and a lot of my friends are 30 because we just kind of get along better and we hold different types of conversations. So it was such an amazing weekend.
Yeah, I bet it was. I wanted to go to the last one they did in Vegas, the 10X in Vegas. I missed out on that one, but I'm definitely going to be going to the next one.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this while we're on here, because I know you're a huge Florida fan. So, is this the year that you guys get past his Crimson Tide
Not going to happen.
or my Auburn Tigers this year?
Two-part question. The other part of that is, what do you think about Dan Mullen over there? How's he doing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, so it's hard, okay? Because I want to say yes, but I'm also really realistic, right? I love my Gators so much, and we beat FSU, which is just amazing. We're doing better. You have to give us that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're on the right track.
We just take a second and talk about our education and our academics.
If we can't talk about football, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Our education is on par.
It's no point. Yeah.
No, I'd like to see us beat you guys, but I mean, you guys are it's not fair. It's you guys have a powerhouse. It could be illegal.
Big Auburn fan, so we clash on that. So Emily, talk about your mastermind. It kind of exploded there. You were one of the first and one of the largest masterminds to start on LinkedIn. I know that you got it to a level, and then you press the pause button. Talk about.
Oh yeah. Okay, people are gonna like this. So I love business. I live, breathe, and just like e-business. So one thing I've been taught was always have a subscription model. You have that reoccurring income coming in, and one way you could do so is creating a mastermind group. People pay some crazy money. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. Let's see what I could do. So I had a guy make me a website, created a mastermind group. I think I had about 60 people paying like $50 a month. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And I was like, okay, so like, what do I do now? Like they put their credit card information, they trust me, and now I have 60 people's lives on my hands. So I'm like, okay, let me create a schedule. I'm going to do a live video Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to have these challenges. I put a lot of stuff on my plate. Well, 3 months down the line, everyone's extremely happy. We're creating these amazing relationships. And then here I am one day, I'm just like, I don't think I'm giving enough value. I just honestly, like, if I was them, would I be paying myself $50 a month? No, I wouldn't. And at the time, I was barely making any money. So obviously I wouldn't do that because I don't have the discretionary funds to do so. So call my dad up and I say, hey, I'm going to cancel everyone's subscription, but I'm going to keep the mastermind open because I still love doing it. I just don't think that I'm giving them enough value. So can you show me how to cancel everyone's subscription? He's like, yeah, no. First of all, I'm not going to show you because I don't believe you should do that. Tells me all the reasons why not to. So here I am, YouTube, how to cancel people's subscription. So that day, canceled it. I got so many emails on why it was canceled. And I was like, no, we're still going to have it. I just don't want you to pay anymore. So it just kind of like my heart is always like, am I doing enough? And I'm not perfect. That's definitely one thing I still struggle with is like, I often do too much. Right. And, but that was the reason why I stopped the payment. I still have the group now. I think we're about like 500 people. But I'm not
friends with everybody, right?
Yeah. Like I just felt like because what I was doing it was joy for me, like interacting with them. And I felt like I wasn't making a difference in their lives. And I felt like a thief by asking for money, by doing something that I feel like I should be doing anyways. So that was my mindset. And so yeah, that's a fun fact about me.
Well, this show is called the Real Estate Roundtable, but I mean, anybody that knows, our audience knows, because like I said, a lot of the videos that I've done, a lot of people that we have on is more leadership, like John Maxwell, mindset, like Ed Mylett, and that's really why we have you on. And I think that's even in real estate, that's 80% of it. It's mindset. And I know you were in mortgages. We won't go into that, but you were successful at it, but it wasn't your calling. So talk about Boom Baby. Talk about smash that like button. Where did you come up with some of these quotes? Was this just off cuff?
I can't take credit for the Boom Baby, and I say this all the time. And there's an individual named Ben Brookhart, probably 8-figure earner, amazing guy. He joined my mastermind group. We hit it off. He's like a father of 5 children up in North Carolina, and he said one day, "Boom Baby." We were on the phone, and I'm like, "Can you repeat that one more time?" He's like, "Yeah, Boom Baby," and I was like, "Boom Baby, huh? I like how that comes off your lips." I was like, "It's powerful." And I was like, "Do you mind if I start saying that?" He's like, "Yeah, like everyone says it around here." I was like, "Sweet." So I started saying it. And so everyone thinks I did it, but I'm like, no, I promise it didn't come from me. It came from Ben. That's where that came from. And then smash that like button. I think I randomly said it in one video, and I had about 20 comments saying the same thing. And I was like, I got more likes on that video. I'll probably just say it again. Yeah. So it kind of just like I ended every video with a call to action. Smash that like button. I've always been told, you need to have a call to action. Otherwise, the viewer's not going to do anything.
That's right.
Well, I've got a co-host that plagiarizes.
I plagiarize it all the time. I use it. But yeah. It's great. But really, though, I mean, and that's something right now, I know you're busy. You got a lot of stuff going on, and we don't want to use up all your time. So if you want to, if there's anything else you want to talk about, like how people can look you up on your new business with the wealthpack.com and your mastermind and things like that, do you want to let people know where all that's at so they can find you? And
I also wanted to ask you to, if you had one piece of advice you could give, our viewers, and I asked you on a phone call not too long ago about, the typical day for Emily Crooke. I think you touched on this a little bit, but would you like to elaborate on that a little bit? What your biggest advice would be to our viewers?
Yeah, I think my biggest advice is creating a heart of gratitude. And one thing that has been a huge success for me is every single morning before my feet hit the floor, I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. So instantly my mindset is I'm coming out of gratitude. I'm thinking in abundance. I already have things that I think I'm going to have. And I know I've been on different podcasts and they stress like leadership, like time blocking, XYZ, structure, which is great. But I think coming from like having a positive mindset, understanding that this mind could either work for you or against you, and coming from a place of love and gratitude makes a difference in every individual you come across, and is going to make a tremendous difference in your business.
Right.
Yeah.
Emily, you've been an absolute pleasure. Like my host said, my co-host said that we want to value your time. But is there any other links, any charitable causes, anything else that you would like to talk about before we let you go today?
No, honestly, like I appreciate both of you for having me on. It's been awesome. So I love real estate. I know in the future I'll own a few homes. So any of those realtors that could connect with me.
Yeah, and you know, we don't just talk about real estate here, like you said too. Because I mean, the reason why I bring this up is because I come from the finance world too. That's what was interesting when you said that. I'm licensed in life, health, property, casualty, all that, insurance, and mortgages and stuff too. So that's awesome. Because I was wondering, like, what is she doing? What is she doing? And then boom, now it's finance. So I'm definitely gonna have to hit you up and
yes,
talk to you a little bit about what's going on with this.
Please, this fuels my fire. I could talk for hours with you about this. 401k, IRA, index universal life policy, you name it. Let's talk about it.
Definitely.
So what do you think? What do you think about infinite banking? Have you looked into that?
Infinite banking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to talk to you a little bit about that. All right.
Great. Okay, before you do that, I need to do my research because I want to make sure I'm knowledgeable.
Yeah. No, like you said, man, entrepreneurship, leadership, mindset, it all correlates with and like I said, you were in mortgages, so that is a field of real estate. But enjoyed it, absolute pleasure, and we'll talk soon. South Florida, how's the weather today? It was raining last week.
It's raining every single day. I know, not the best, but I can't complain. I have a treadmill inside and a bike, so I could at least get some activity done. But I got artificial light coming in, so at least the lighting kind of looks good.
All right, guys, so do us a favor and tell our viewers to smash the like button and boom, baby.
Yeah, go ahead and smash that like button, and can I get a boom baby, guys?
Thanks.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah.
Cause I'm on my way. Got money in the bank, I get so paid.